Hey y'all, so we are going to talk again about deliverance today. And this portion that we're going to get to, I have had in my notes for weeks and just been chewing on it and meditating on it. And I love when Holy Spirit connects dots. It's just really one of my favorite things. So we're talking about deliverance. Yesterday we looked at the definition of the particular tense here that's used in Hebrew: to preserve, to take away, to snatch away, and to snatch out of danger. Now, so many things here. I'm going to try to connect some dots, and if I can't do it, Holy Spirit can do it, and you'll get what you need to get from Him. But to snatch, that's not really a word that you hear used often. And so here are some definitions of snatch. And it is to grab quickly, to attempt to seize something suddenly. So let's go back. We talked about this weeks ago, that the speed and how fast that fowler's trap would go off, how quickly, in a moment's notice, the net would come or the box or cage would crash. It's very, very quickly. Again, a hunter, the moment that the prey is in the right position, he snaps, he shoots, whatever he's doing to trap the animal, it's immediate. But and there are several Hebrew words that mean deliverance. Romai is one of them. Excuse me. And that's one that we've talked about before. It's a pulling away and drawing to yourself. But this is a different word for deliver. Excuse me. And it is to snatch and preserve, to keep alive, to keep safe from harm, injury, or destruction, to protect. And I love that it's a different image. So I started thinking about another place that, pause, just as fast as the enemy would pull the trigger on that trap, the Lord stands ready to deliver you from that trap. Okay, so I began thinking about other places where I'd heard the word snatch. And John 10, interestingly enough, where Jesus talks about God being the good shepherd, and he talks about the thief coming only to steal, kill, and destroy. He also talks about a snatching. So let's go to John 10, verse 27. And it says, "The sheep that are my own hear and are listening to my voice," which I think is so key. They hear and are listening to my voice, and I know them and they follow me. Verse 29, "My Father who has given them to me is greater and mightier than all else, and no one is able to snatch them out of my Father's hands." Then he says, "I and my Father are one." And the whole chapter is just great. But isn't that incredible? And in this snatch, again in chapter 10, verses 28 and 29, it's to attempt to seize suddenly, or to take suddenly. And Jesus says, "My sheep that are mine, they hear and are listening to my voice." And remember, that is how he pulls us out, he directs us, he sheds light on the situation, that we would not be ignorant of the wiles and intentions of the enemy, that we would not be taken advantage of, because we hear and are listening to his voice. Hearing alone is not enough. It takes action. When he speaks, that we move. But moving to 29, "My Father who has given them to me is greater and mightier than all else." Elyon, El Shaddai, Elohim, and Yahweh. And we've talked about what all of those names mean. Yahweh, of course, the redemptive name of God. El Shaddai, the Almighty One. Elohim, Creator, self-sufficient. Those things tie in here. My Father is greater and mightier than all else. Go back to Psalm 91, in the Almighty. Again, I'm reading this out of the Amplified Version. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall remain stable and fixed under the shadow of the Almighty, whose power no foe can withstand. So today, on this Friday, I am encouraging you, reminding you that if you are His and He is yours, then He is speaking to you. You can hear Him, you can listen, and He will deliver you, because the Father is greater and mightier than all, and no one, no fowler, no enemy, no trap that Satan has designed, even though it was designed for you, no one is able to snatch them out of my Father's hand. He can't do it. He cannot do it. But that ties into, again, us being sensitive and us listening, and God being who He promised to be to us. So those were some things I was really excited to share with you about, that the deliverance here is that the Lord will snatch us, deliver us quickly from these traps, but that the enemy is not able to snatch us out of the hand of the Almighty, our Father and Redeemer, Yahweh. That's good news. All right, so I'll see y'all tomorrow for our live Devo. And remember, the shares this week, of course, we'll do another drawing in the morning for one of the Joseph Prince's prayer of protection or promise of protection book tomorrow. I will see you all then. Bye, y'all.